Okay, we have all been there. You're in the zone, having a really great, productive chat with your AI assistant. You're building out a project, maybe drafting a big document, and then out of nowhere, it just starts making these weird mistakes. It completely forgets something you told it 5 minutes ago. I'm here to tell you, you are not imagining it. And today, we're going to break down exactly what's going on.
So, does this sound familiar? That sinking feeling when your brilliant AI partner just seems to be, well, losing its grip on the conversation. It is honestly one of the biggest frustrations when you're trying to use these tools for any kind of serious work. And believe it or not, there's actually a name for it.
It's called context rot. And the best way to think about it is like that old game of telephone, where a message gets whispered from person to person. By the end, it's completely different. That's kind of what's happening here. The AI has a limited memory, a context window. And as your chat gets longer, the first things you talked about get pushed further and further away until they're fuzzy, distorted, or just gone.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, so it's a little glitchy, what's the big deal? Well, this is way more than just a minor annoyance. In some cases, it can have some pretty serious real-world consequences. So let's get into why this actually matters.
It really all comes down to the task at hand. I mean, look, for low-risk stuff, like you're just brainstorming ideas or messing around with some creative writing, a little bit of context drop might not matter at all. It could even lead to some unexpected ideas. But for high-risk work, we're talking legal reviews, detailed academic research, complex coding, anything where remembering a precise detail from an hour ago is absolutely critical. That's where context drop can completely torpedo your entire project.
And you can see this having a huge impact in professional settings, like in education. For a student, it can mean they walk away from a tutoring session with a definition that's slowly been twisted into something incorrect. For a professor, a course plan they've spent an hour building could suddenly become a jumbled, incoherent mess. But here's the crucial point. This isn't just about getting facts wrong. It's about trust, and it's even about equity. Users who are less savvy about spotting this rot are more likely to accept faulty information, and that just widens the digital literacy gap.
Okay, so we get it. It's a real problem. But here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, you can absolutely learn to spot the red flags before they cause a major headache. Think of this as your field guide to context rot. You want to be on the lookout for things like, are the key terms you defined at the beginning starting to drift in meaning? Are you asking for a summary and noticing it's missing huge chunks of what you discussed? Or, my favorite, is the AI starting to contradict itself? Another big one is what's called hallucinated continuity, where the AI invents these really smooth-sounding but totally fake connections between ideas. That is a classic sign that the context is starting to go bad.
And here is a super practical way to think about it. Context rot isn't random. It's actually pretty predictable. So if you're just doing some light brainstorming, you can probably go for an hour, maybe 2, without any major issues. But if you're doing really heavy, detailed work, like analyzing a dense document, you should start getting suspicious after just 15 to 30 minutes. Seriously, knowing this timeline is your secret weapon. It tells you when you need to be on high alert. All right, so knowing the problem and spotting the signs, that's half the battle. Now for the other half, actually taking control. Look, you can't totally eliminate context rot, but you can for sure manage it with a few really smart strategies. Let's say it's happening. You've spotted the signs. What do you do right now, in the moment? These are your response tactics. You can re-inject an anchor, which is just a fancy way of saying you remind the AI of a core fact. Like, hey, remember, we decided X. My personal favorite, though, is to restart strategically. Don't just rage quit and close the window. Ask the AI for one last complete summary of your progress. Copy that, open a brand new chat, and paste it in. Boom, you're starting fresh, but with all your key context perfectly intact. You know what's even better than reacting to a problem? Preventing it from happening in the first place. This is all about building better habits. Instead of one epic marathon session on a huge project, chunk your tasks. Break it down into smaller, focused chats. Use checkpoint prompts every so often. Just pause and ask, hey, can you summarize what you understand so far? It's all about creating a workflow that respects the AI's limits instead of fighting against them. So after going through all of this, the problems, the warning signs, all the strategies, what's the one single thing you should really walk away with? Well, it all boils down to a really simple but really powerful shift in your mindset. This is it, right here. You have to stop thinking of yourself as just a user giving commands. You need to start seeing yourself as an active manager. Your AI is like a brilliant intern. It's incredibly fast, it knows a ton of stuff, but it has a terrible short-term memory.
It needs you to give it structure, to give it reminders, and to keep it pointed in the right direction. It's a partnership, and you're the one in charge.
By understanding what context rot is, you're not at the mercy of the machine's quirks anymore. You now have the knowledge to spot it, you've got the tools to fix it, and you have the habits to prevent it. The goal isn't to fight the AI's limitations, it's to work with them intelligently. So the only question left is, are you ready to really start managing your new assistant?